Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. So my name is William Beaudin. I lead the data management, the AI solutions program at DDN Storage. And we're very excited today to announce the launch of DDN DataFlow at Supercomputing this week. So DDN DataFlow is an all-inclusive software solution that allows you to design, deploy, and operate high-performance data workflows at scale. So it's compatible with all of DDN storage systems, as well as it interfaces with other types of data platforms that you might have in your environments. And just like the rest of all of DDN's products, DDN DataFlow is fast, flexible, capable, reliable, and can scale to basically meet any requirements that you may have. So in the presentation today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about the platform, what it is, what it does, how it works, and ways that we've deployed it to solve customers' issues. So DDN DataFlow is an at-scale data management solution. It enables you to protect, to vault, to move, and synchronize your data. And those capabilities are very valuable for organizations everywhere that handle data at scale. So data protection workflows are about providing redundancy, right? About ensuring that your critical data is available in case of unexpected, unforeseen, or unplanned disruption to your primary data repository. And that could be anything from an accidental file deletion to maybe a complete storage system failure, especially if you're using our competitors' products, or a crypto ransom attack, which we're hearing about more frequently out in the news. So having a reliable backup of your critical data helps ensure that you have operational continuity if you unexpectedly lose access to your data storage platform. So DDN DataFlow enables you to protect your data and engage reliable backup workflows very easily. Data vaulting workflows are about giving you a mechanism to move and store your data in an organized repository, typically for a long period of time. So organizations will engage in data vaulting or data archiving for all sorts of reasons. You may want to remove stale data from your primary file system and make room for data from your current projects. You may want to create collections of valuable data and metadata that you're going to accumulate over a long period of time. So if you're engaged in deep learning, that's a real concern. You may need to retain information for future reference, to meet regulatory compliance. And so DDN DataFlow enables you to create, manage, and organize data archive that's enriched with metadata that allows you to store data and ensure that it can be accessed for generation. A third kind of workflow that we're doing is the data movement workflow, and that's central to every data operations. I'm sure most of you move, copy, delete data every day, and there's different ways to handling these types of tasks, right? Some of you may be doing it ad hoc, so you may have an expert or a non-expert person just wrangling around the data, and that might suffice for your environment, but it definitely doesn't scale, and it's also it can also lead to disaster. If it's done by the wrong operator, you can end up with a lot of trouble if your data gets moved around unexpectedly. So DDN DataFlow enables you to manage all your data using data operations, using a structured framework. And so the tasks are executed very rapidly, very efficiently, and accurately using distributed data movers. And the data movers are multi-threaded, so they're very fast. And overall, this DDN DataFlow allows you to engage these operations using an organized system that has management, logging, and reporting capabilities. And the fourth kind of workflow that we go after are data synchronization workflows. And those are about allowing you to mirror identical sets of data in two or more locations. And you may engage this for multiple reasons, right? You might be wanting to move data from your existing storage system onto a brand new DDN storage system. Or you may want to replicate your data between two sites for disaster recovery purposes, maybe to enable collaboration. And so with just like with data operations, organizations are going to engage synchronization workflows with different types of sophistication and also levels of success. And DDN DataFlow basically enables you to leverage its high-performance infrastructure, its distributed structured framework, to ensure accurate and timely synchronization of data between two sites and also even across heterogeneous platforms and remote sites. And so really, DDN DataFlow enables you to run a full gamut of data workflows, being protection, archiving, movement, synchronization, And these are all really, really simple in the enterprise, right? When you're dealing with small amounts of volumes, modest workloads, limited scalability, this is no issue. When you start talking about supercomputing scale type problems, moving petabytes of data, billions of files, etc., these problems can take on a whole different scale of complexity. And with DDN DataFlow, we make all of this very possible and all of this very easy. Let me show you how. So DDN DataFlow is an extremely versatile software, right? The core technology in DDN DataFlow comes from an evolution in 20 years of advanced software engineering that's focused on data storage. And so that heritage has given us a lot of experience and has allowed us to grow an extensive interoperability. And so with DDN DataFlow, you can access and store data on any storage platform, be it file, object, cloud, or tape. And from a workflow perspective, that means that you can back up, archive, move, and synchronize from any storage platform to any storage platform without any compromise. You can also engage multi-source and multi-destination workflows. So for example, you could back up multiple enterprise or production NAS systems onto a single DDN storage system. Or at the same time, you could be archiving data from your primary HPC file system onto a DDN archive storage system and also make secondary copies out to tape or out to cloud. And so DDN DataFlow, its extensive interoperability allows you to architect data workflows with nearly limitless possibilities. And the DDN DataFlow uses a distributed architecture. So the core of the technology, the core of the architecture really are these multi-threaded data movers. And so they connect to the source storage and the target storage, and they execute the actual data movement operations. So deployments can start with a single data mover and then scale up as you need more performance from the system. We also have support for heterogeneous mixed data mover types. So depending on your environment, you can use data movers with different operating systems, different network cards, and so that allows you to make sure that the system can connect to all your data platforms. And the data movers are controlled by a server, and so the server runs an intelligent job scheduler and also has an intelligent load balancing engine that allows it to dispatch the tasks across the data movers, monitor the progress of the tasks, and make sure that everything gets completed. The server also maintains a catalog that keeps track of all the assets that have been backed up, moved, and archived by the system. And so really this distributed architecture provides you a tremendous amount of performance, of scalability, tremendous flexibility, which makes basically these data workflows, all this very powerful architecture, very easy to integrate into whatever workflow or infrastructure you're running. And so beyond infrastructure, a big part of the performance of DDN DataFlow comes from advanced software features like our patented FastScan technology. And so FastScan basically enables us to integrate at a very low level with file system. And so it allows DDN DataFlow to constantly monitor what's happening with file systems without having to do an entire scan of it. And so if you're engaging operations like backup, for example, if you're running nightly backup incrementals, you don't have to trigger an entire crawl of your file system to figure out what's changed. With DataFlow, we can simply interrogate the file system and ask it to tell us what's the difference between what has changed since the last backup point, and we can quickly identify what files have changed, and so we can use these advanced features to gain a lot of speed. And at the same time, we also lessen the burden on the source file system because we don't have to interrogate it all the time. And just to give you an example, right, we've got a grid scaler customer who's got a 10 petabyte file system, and they have about 1 billion files in there, and they have a 10% daily change rate. So that's a lot of data that's changing every night. They've deployed DDN DataFlow to back up their system every night, and we're able to keep up with it. And without these types of advanced capabilities, I'm sure you can understand, that wouldn't be so easy. And so FastScan is compatible with all our scalar file systems and the majority of enterprise NAS, so that makes it easy for you to integrate. Fourth quick point I want to mention is that DDN DataFlow maintains a central catalog with all the assets that have been archived and backup. And so it automatically populates the catalogs as you move data into your archive or your backup. It automatically adds dozens of metadata parameters for every asset that it's tracked. So things like residency, versioning, things like permissions, for example. You can also add custom metadata that's relevant to your workflow with each of the assets. And the catalog's organized in this hierarchical tree scheme with files and folders. And so users can intuitively reorganize, browse, search the catalog to find the data that they want to retrieve. And cataloging is a very important part of documenting collections, right? It gives you a way to control your data collections. It enables you to structure and manage your archives. And at the end, that really enables you to easily find the data that you're looking for. And at the same time, also from a longer-term perspective, metadata-enriched archives increase the usefulness, the value, the longevity of data collection. So DDN DataFlow today is deployed by organizations everywhere. So we already have had early customers in industry, in academia, and government that leverage the catalog to enable collaborations between multiple groups and their organizations all around the world. And the final feature I want to talk about is the interfaces. So DDN DataFlow includes two GUI consoles, right, that are easy to use and that cover all administrative and operational aspects of the system. So on the top you see the administrator console, which from a single pane will give you access to system configuration, system management, system monitoring. And at the bottom you see the split view console, which is a kind of a user, more of a user console. And so you see it's a split pane environment. And so users on one side will see their primary storage, on the other will see the archive or backup. And data movement or data backup and archive operations can be engaged as simply with a simple drag and drop, from grabbing data from one side of the pane onto the other. And so what's great about this is when you think about all these powerful things that we talked about from a DDN DataFlow perspective, right? All these great workflows. What's great about it is basically through these interfaces, we're able to bring all that power down to a very simple interfaces. And so we're able to bring all those capabilities into the hand of users. Makes it basically very easy, very accessible through simple interfaces. And of course, DDN DataFlow includes advanced command line tools, web services, APIs. So if you want to integrate DDN DataFlow as part of your pipelines, as part of your tools, we've got the hooks for integration and automation. And so to wrap this up really quick, just want to go over very briefly kind of three really concrete use cases that we've deployed for customers. So in this first example, we're looking at data backup. So we enable you to back up data from your primary storage onto your to a backup repository that can be a file storage or an archive storage. And so we enable you with the software to do to define kind of flexible data backup policies. So those could be, for example, regular full with nightly incrementals, and a fixed retention period, which is kind of the scheme that you'll see in a lot of data governance plan. And so we also enable you to, as we back things up into the repository, we protect the data, we preserve things like permission. So when you restore them back, when you restore files back, permissions will get reapplied. We also have data integrity verification checkpoints throughout the workflow. And so you can be confident that your data has been backed up properly, has been written properly to the backup storage. We also give you mechanisms to audit your backup storage. So you don't have to believe the system, you can actually go out and verify that your data is out there on demand. And this entire process is managed through the central architecture, so you get the performance of the data mover and the management of the catalog server. So overall, DDN DataFlow enables you to engage backup workflows very easily, reliable backup workflows very easily. A second quick workflow to go over is allowing you to vault data from your primary storage into a DDN file or object storage system. And you can also make additional copies to cloud or tape or other archive primary file storage systems. And so we allow you to do automatic or manual archiving, and as we move data from the primary storage into the archive storage, it gets added to a catalog, which again can be reorganized, can be searched, can be manipulated. It again makes it very easy for you to retrieve data back from your archive. And again, you get the benefit of the data high-performance multi-threaded data movers for performance, for moving data into the archive and retrieving it. And also at the same time, you get the benefits of the managed catalog servers. So DDN DataFlow enables you to create and manage kind of this organized data archive that can be enriched with metadata and can be accessed for generation. And one last workflow I want to go through is again these concepts of data operations and data synchronization. So you can use DDN DataFlow, as you see at the top there, to copy and move data within a single storage system across multiple systems. You can synchronize workflows between two storage locations. And if you've got multiple sites, you want to do these data operations across multiple sites, DDN DataFlow includes a UDP optimized proprietary protocol that enables it to copy, move, and synchronize data across sites very efficiently. And again, you're leveraging the high performance data mover architecture. You also leverage the managed and structured architecture. And so really, DDN DataFlow truly is an all-inclusive software solution that enables you to design, deploy, and operate all kinds of high-performance data workflows at scale. And so this kind of concludes our introduction to DDN DataFlow. I invite you to learn more about our platform through our website, ddn.com/dataflow, and also check out the live demos here at the booth. Thank you for your attention, and